Welcome to Brazil, and a Brazil where we'll find very shortly Michael Schumacher. It's Florianopolis and the International Challenge of Go-Kart Championships. He won it last year. It was his return to motor racing after retiring from Formula One, and he's here again. And so are 12,000 people, would you believe, to watch international karting. But wouldn't you expect that with the likes of Felipe Massa, Rubens Barrichello on show? 5 to go, and we've got 2 finals, if you like, one a bit later on this afternoon, all on exactly the same sort of kart. They drew their karts earlier yesterday, and they drew their mechanics as well, so they had to settle on kart and mechanic throughout the race meeting, and only technical problems allows any change in the kart or the engine. So Perilla powered they are, a 125cc water-cooled with a Birrell chassis, Bridgestone tyres and Shell fuel. And there's 25 minutes plus 1 lap, but the astonishing thing today, he won't take a pole position, but the man fastest in warm-up is one without a karting pedigree, and it's Diego Camillo from Sao Paulo. He knows the track. He was a karting champion himself many years ago, but now it's not the formula he's involved in, because Camillo is in Brazilian stock car V8 racing. So a little bit of a shock there. Second quickest, well, you knew he'd be there or thereabouts, Mr. Schumacher, who, by the way, when he first started karting, they all say his father ran the karting circuit. Yes, he did, but he was a bricklayer with his father, first of all. And by the way, a word on Felipe Massa while we're speaking. The Brazilian floods is where the money from what is a special charity event will be going in this one. So it's all going to a very good cause indeed. Believe me, though, with stock car drivers, cars from Indy Racing, Alexander Barros from the world of 2 wheels, and how well he's graced that in this as well. There may be fun, there may be charity, but I'll tell you what else. When it gets down to that grid, they're racers, and the 12,000 here at Florianopolis love their motorsport and love their karting. Look at that for a karting circuit. Just think about that. When you're next out at a wet and windy place where it's freezing. Not every circuit like that is in Great Britain, of course. A lot of them are improving more and more with their facilities. But not a bad place to spend an hour or 2 this afternoon. And that's what we've got, because later this afternoon we'll see the final aggregate points. Now, let me tell you that you get more points if you win in the first one than you do in the second, and it schedules down like that. But we'll be back in just a second. Well, let me apologise to you, first of all. You may get the voices of our comrades, the Brazilian commentary team, because the race, apart from the thousands of people here, is going live over Brazil, such as their love for motorsport and their love for what they regard as the very first step in it, the most major step in it, the world of karting. Now, not only from Formula One have we got the names like Michael Schumacher, true retired 7 times world champion, who did 250 races in Formula One. Rubens Barrichello, who did 20 or more than that. He did about 273, 274 races. He's here as well. And the likes of Felipe Massa, 1 point behind Lewis Hamilton. How dramatic that was on the last day of the Grand Prix season at Brazil. We've got Vintantonio Luizzi, who is no Slowco, and neither is Lucas de Grassi, and Luca Bador is there as well. If you want to have a look at Indy Racing, Tony Kanaan and Vitor Mir is there, and a veteran of NASCAR, not that old, in his mid-30s, Jeff Gordon. He can do a bit too. If you want to go back to Formula One, who never really made it, but now is in the Super League of Formula One, it's Antonio Fazzonia. He's there as well. More on those, but we're going to get away shortly. See that number 1? Yeah. You know it, it's Michael Schumacher. You can see that under the nose of the kart as well. He'll be eager to get underway. But he's not on the front row. He's on the second row of the grid. De Grassi and Luizzi on the front row. Barrichello and Schumacher once teammates on the second row. So there you are. There's Diego Camillo, fastest in practice. Pizzonia with a point to prove. Ricardo Zonta, 42. He's 38 years of age, Ricardo Zonta. Bit further back, man who did well last year, Luciano Berti. Felipe Massa, the number 19 there. He put all this on. He's done it for 3 years in succession. How much he loves this event. 25 laps the first race, 25 laps the second later, but 25 for a win here, and it runs downward 5 points between first and second place. In the second race, it's 20 to 17, so it's all important to win this one. There's Schumacher just going through there. And some of the guys further at the back have been going very well in the warm-up session as well. And as you would expect in Sao Paulo at the Florianopolis circuit, tarmac warm, people warm, and the race about to hot up in fine style. Schumacher, when he won it last year, Felipe Massa walked across the paddock and said, "What are you going to say?" He said, "I come next year." And when they interviewed him a few minutes ago, he said to the press gathered here, "I intend to win it again." So Michael Schumacher said, "I'm here for the fun, I'm here to raise the money, but most of all, let's get that in the Schumacher priority list. I'm here to win the motor race." Last year, a first and a sixth did it because they have to start GP2 style. The first 8 right at the back. When it gets to the end, have one warm-up lap here, by the way. Excellent circuit here. I think they're going to do it a bit like demon drivers, going one way and then the other way, but never mind. Until they get into that formation, it'll be De Grassi and next to him, Luizzi, as they go, and away there. Is that a wave? No, you'll go again. We're not happy with you. We'll go again, and the arms go up in the air. So the hearts beat just a little bit faster. Some think they're going and some don't, but never mind, they're not. Chance to get a little bit more warmth into those tyres. Those hospitality units absolutely full. And the mountains and the greenery around Sao Paulo, beautiful part of Brazil. Be interesting to see how Antonio Pizzonia goes on. He's one of the very few Brazilians not from Sao Paulo here. He comes from Manaus, which is a good way north of here. It's actually on the Amazon Delta. And Pizzonia now trying to claw his way back, reinvent himself by being in Super League. Went to GP2, never really made it in Formula 1. But let's have a look at the front again. So De Grassi is 18, Luizzi is number 20. As they come round again. Are we all right this time? Well, I think they are, but it looks like the 18's got it. Schumacher striking from the outside, but he's not managed to make it there at the moment. Luizzi's dropped about 5 places. So De Grassi with an excellent start. Let's have a look at these guys in a minute. 26 of them there were. Schumacher won it last year, be it by only a couple of points, because remember it goes over the 2 races. And I can tell you already that Jeff Gordon's had a problem, but he's back on the track. He went off on our monitor on the far side a moment or 2 ago, but he's managed to keep going. But it's 18 with the lead. That's Lucas De Grassi. But can he keep it? You can see they're keeping him honest already. So 18 with that lead. And De Grassi, the man that a lot of people are talking about, he's just been over to Catalonia, a test there for Honda, although of course at the moment he could well be remaining as the Renault test driver. But De Grassi with his thoughts at the moment is staying ahead here. Finished in the runners-up spot last year, did he? Have a quick look at that, just confirm that. In fact, it was De Grassi was in 3rd position last year, but he leads from Rubens Barrichello. Schumacher back in 5th. Now Camilo has come up a place to 4th, and Gomez is going strongly up in 6th position. So Rubens Barrichello trying to find the way through. One of the oldest of the, well, certainly out of the Formula 1 fringe, he's the oldest here at 36. 271 Grand Prix he did. 9 victories, but he'd like one in this today. He's not able to get through at the moment. Last year we got an absolute stellar performance in the first race from Michael Schumacher. And remember, there we can see Schumacher on the chase at the moment. Quick look over his shoulder. He's back in 5th position. Having a look at Diego Camillo, who's a stock car driver. Stock car V8 in Brazil, very popular indeed. And no one's giving any quarter up there. Schumacher, of course, from 4 years old when he started karting. And there's Luca Badour, who is the test driver for Ferrari for as long as anyone can almost remember. But at the front, Still Luca Di Grassi. And now another view of Michael Schumacher trying to find his way a little bit closer to the battle at the front, but there's Di Grassi. And once again it's the battle between the fastest two after qualifying, Di Grassi and Vincenzo Luizzi. It's Brazilian from Italian, and the gap between Schumacher and Camillo is a postage stamp. 0.136 of a second. Cover him with a blanket. Pretty warm blanket at that it would be, but you can cover the front two with a blanket as well. Then there's just a cart's length before the third place at the moment. Barrichello up there, quick got off the circuit for number 6, and that was Tony Kanaan. That's the second time Tony Kanaan's been a bit agricultural in this one, but no change at the front. So no change there, as we saw a little bit of spinning and gyrating further down the field. Wow, where are we going now? Pretty warm out here, so anything just about can happen. Florianópolis, Interlagos, and Luca Di Grassi. Still keeping behind him with Antonio Luzzi, the Italian. And the Italian could have some attention from Rubens Barrichello fairly shortly. Interesting, of course, a little bit of a scenario there was Di Grassi and Barrichello, because Barrichello's seat next to Jenson Button, or in the next car to Jenson Button at Honda, could just be in question. And if Di Grassi's been to Catalonia to test, well, who knows? But never mind. Barrichello, in the world of karting, well known for his exploits there of years gone by too. The fastest two early sessions, the free practice, Barrichello was quickest in both, but maybe he knows this circuit just a little bit better than Di Grassi. Although Di Grassi, another Sao Paulo born Brazilian, 24 years of age. Bruno Senna was also summoned to Catalonia in the battle to see who will be next to Jenson Button, or who will be with Jenson Button in the Honda setup next year. But is Di Grassi managing to get a grip of this one a little bit? All still fairly close together. And Diego Camillo doing remarkably well. Fastest man in the warm-up, remember. And you're not doing bad if in any form of racing you can keep one Mr. Schumacher behind you, and he is doing that. Remember, there's 25 minutes of this race. Clock running down in the top left-hand corner means we've got just over 19 to go. And is Schumacher just keeping his powder dry for the moment? Well, if he does, he could have some attention himself very shortly. Several battles going up around the field. Just a little gaggle of about 6 of them there, isn't there? The crowd who was coming in here, those that didn't remain overnight, from first thing this morning at Florianópolis. And 19 you see there coming up through the field. None other than Felipe Massa, who's run this for 3 years now. It's the Felipe Massa Christmas party. What a wonderful way to have a Christmas party. Ooh, ouch. Hey, it's my race. No, it isn't. Massa in amongst the battle there, coming up through the field. He did actually qualify in the first 10, but for some reason when they had the shoot-off wasn't there. So maybe there's another story. Perhaps he said after you, Claude, or whatever you say in Brazilian is the answer when it is actually your race meeting that you're running. All the karts, I said before, absolutely identical. A 125cc, water-cooled, Bridgestone tyre. And both of the races of 25 minutes. Rumour of the possibility of a bit of a shower later on today. And the one going agricultural there, as you see, Oliveira Well, you're used to that when you've gone around in sort of stock cars and that sort of thing, aren't you? Although he, in fact, has been racing on the Japanese circuit. He did the stock car bit, but he's also done Formula Nippon and Super GT out in Japan. Antonio Pizzonia, number 3, was briefly in our screen there. Nice fella. Shame about his time in Formula 1. Didn't really work out, did it? After much promise before that. He's driving the Corinthian, one of the the Corinthian entry, Corinthian football team entry in the Super League. Not a lot of change at the front of the field, except for one, of course, and the important bit, and that is that Luizzi is now got the better of Glacier, but going through, and yes, you can hear the Brazilian shout there. Rubens Barrichello, but can he hold on to it? Yes, he can. Can he make it stick? He has. Rubens Barrichello. Oh, well done to him. So he might be one of the older of the Formula 1 competitors in this, but he's not beyond coming up into second place. And now we've got, of course, Grassi and Luizzi the other way round. The Grassi has to go into third place. So if you want my Honda seat, can you beat me in a car? Answer, not at the moment. So Barrichello, one of the nicest guys in Formula 1 racing. 271 Grand Prix to his credit. And still a very quick man on the kart. So it's Luizzi, Barrichello, Di Grassi. Schumacher has got past Camillo, so he's asking the questions. Pizzonia up to 7th place. Felipe Massa in 8th place. Berti, who in fact I think was the runner-up last year. Berti was 2nd place overall last year. So we've got a lot to come. So, getting a little bit closer to the front is Michael Schumacher. And his old teammate Rubens Barrichello got aspirations to do just that. Quick look over from the Italian Antonio Luizzi. But he got an eyeful of the Brazilian right behind him. So Luizzi, Grassi and Barrichello and Schumacher all in the front 2 positions, front 2 rows of the grid when they started. And this is the 4 that has broken away a little bit now from the rest. Barrichello with a 41.62 there, a fastest lap. It's the fastest lap on the entire weekend, is that so far? But there's a long way to go in this one. Barrichello, 9 victories in his Formula 1 career, 13 times in pole position, and always giving his all. And he's giving his all again now. A little bit further back. The two brothers in this a little bit further back, or a lot further back, having a bit of a cracking race, but more about them a little bit later on. A lot of bumping and boring further back down the field, but I can tell you that Michael Schumacher was been indicating to the side of the track a little while ago that he seemed to be having a problem at the back, but it's not actually showing in his speed. So we'll have a look at that one when we get the opportunity. There's a classic drive-through from Vitamira there, number 27, going down the inside and gaining the position. So if you've just joined us, Florianopolis, 25 minutes of each final. And yes, if you hear a name that surprises you and you just turned on, it's Michael Schumacher, back again. And he's the 4th in this little gaggle, which is led by Antonio Luizzi of Italy. Luizzi, who is 27 years of age. Been with Red Bull, Toro Rosso, done about 39 Grand Prix. Formula India test driver, the number 3, if you like, of the Formula India team. As Schumacher dials in a fastest lap so far, 41.537. Well, he might have been indicating something. Perhaps he was indicating just, hey, you lot, watch this. Well, if they did, he's clawed himself ever closer. So Schumacher in 4th place. Well, the Schumacher regards second place as the first place loser. Can't see him being too happy to hang around there for too long, but Luizzi from Barrichello. From Grassi, from Schumacher. And now, all four of them. Who's going to get this one? Long way to go yet. 25 minutes of a race. I reckon we've got about 15 to go. Our director will no doubt show up a picture in the corner of the screen with an indication in the not too distant future just how many laps we have got to go. And tell you that our Brazilian commentators are going quite mad with the thought that Barrichello is in second place. How they'd love him to win it. Mind you, look at the Grassi. Of course, he's Brazilian, also from Sao Paulo. So there's two Sao Paulans. There's a German. And there's an Italian. And the Italian's got the spot at the front. And very shortly, they were going to come up and do a little bit of lappery as well. Just ahead of them as Kart moves very wide and handsomely out of the way. As the four, really, they're giving some entertainment to the big crowd here, aren't they? Now, Schumacher, are you going to make your bid yet? When are you going to go? De Grassi is the man right in front of Schumacher. Barrichello in front of him. But at the moment, still just about holding on in there. Further back, the lights you've seen there of Marcos Gomez, number 80, you just saw for a moment. They're having their own private battle. It is Christmas, isn't it? So you battle all the way down the field. Everybody sort of talks about this when they get to the paddock afterwards. But right at the front, it is really very seriously important. Was it Michael Schumacher who invented the phrase that if you're playing your... Well, there's a change. Quick whip through there on that one. That's not the battle we were talking about right at the front. We'll have a look at that one again in a second. That's a battle a little bit further back down the field. But going back to Michael Schumacher, was it him that coined the phrase that if you're playing your 3-year-old nephew at drafts, how do you play? Thrash him. An awful thing to say. Well, never mind. And let's have a look at this one again, because this is changing as I speak. Still Schumacher keeping that watching brief in fourth place. Still Barrichello having his look to see what he can do. But it's let's get that right. Vitantonio, it has also been known as Antonio Luizzi. Vitantonio Luizzi, who has the lead, and that's a little bit nerfing. Going on a lot further back. There'll be some more nerfing there in a moment, I would have thought, because it's if you do that, I can do it better. There you are, a little bit back. And the errant hand goes into the air to say, what have I done to deserve that? And or that. But meanwhile, the battle up at the front, as we had a quick look there at Felipe Massa again. Pisonia in 6th now. Camillo some way behind. Camillo and Pisonia some way adrift of Schumacher in 4th place. So Felipe Massa in 8th place, Gomez in 7th, and Berti, who was 2nd last time, is in 13th place in front of the German-born Brazilian Max Wilson, who was in 12th place. But there's a change, and that's you can hear the shout. Rubens Barrichello through into the lead. Wow. Now, is he going to keep it? Is he going to keep it? No, he's not. Oh, no, you can't. Rubens do it down the inside again. Oh, and he has, and he's held it. And there goes Schumacher through into 3rd place. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that, said Schumacher, and his arm went up into the air. Thank you very much. But what about the Rubens Barrichello in there? Absolutely superb from him. Schumacher now in 3rd. So, the Brazilian, who's one of the oldest of the Formula One brigade, Rubens Barrichello, 36 years of age, has the lead in Florianopolis. And we can see that gap's opened a little bit now. So there we are. That's a replay of it. Hold and hold again. Try the inside. Hold the inside and watch. Oh, look at that little sniff coming through on the inside there to see that they could get back through. And now the 3 of them, because the other kart has pulled away back. Can't really tell you what's happened there for the moment, but you can't take your eyes off this one, can you? Because De Grassi now in second place, Barrichello in first place, and that's Berti with his problems, and the man who finished second last year in this is looking like he's not going to have much chance of that in this one. But here's Barrichello holding on. Can he fight off that? Round the outside is not a good idea. What's Schumacher down the inside? Oh, but he hasn't been able... Schumacher not able to hold the power on that, and he has to stay in third. Barrichello benefiting from that. Outside is difficult to get round. You'll get anyone from the age of 8 in British karting telling you that. The inside line is the line to favour. None but the brave go around the outside, and usually those that end up with the head in the fence afterwards if they're not very careful. And usually extricated by our excellent marshals from that situation very quickly as well. But this is Barrichello, this is De Grassi, and this is Schumacher. 1, 2, 3. Another look by De Grassi through that time. So he gets back the lead. Now what will Barrichello do? Hold it through the next corner of that S's, and he's going to hold on to it this time. But there is Schumacher. Is Schumacher going to get second place? He has. Michael Schumacher into second place. His old teammate from Ferrari, Rubens Barrichello, in third place. And who's at the front? It's the Italian. It's De Grassi. De Grassi from Sao Paulo, Brazil, on his home circuit. So 2 Brazilians and a German. And Schumacher in a Brazilian sandwich. He's been in those before. Oh, has he lost it? Oh, Michael Schumacher in the bank, body everywhere. Oh, what's he going to do? He won it last year now. Is he going to be able to continue? There's 5 minutes remaining, and Michael Schumacher's going around like a bedstead on its side. Oh, Michael Schumacher, what can you do now, meanwhile? Oh, he lost it. He went over the rumble strips there. And Michael Schumacher's got it to do now. Now, can he keep it going? I'm sure aerodynamically that's a pudding going round. But he did manage to keep it going. And this is Barrichello now. Barrichello is in second place. De Grassi is in first place. So Barrichello chasing after De Grassi. Barrichello with a little bit of a... Ooh, that was not by design alteration at the front of his kart either. Back marker letting them through. There's Barrichello on the chase of Luca De Grassi. De Grassi, of course, well, that's interesting because De Grassi is the man who's been to Catalonia for a test for Honda. So I'm sure you don't decide on the method of one of your potential driver's karting abilities, but this is an interesting one, isn't it? And where is Michael Schumacher? What is he going to be able to do? Is he still circulating? Can't tell you at the moment. We've got just over 4.5 minutes remaining, and there's De Grassi, and Rubens Barrichello still on his case. And who's there up at that 6? And that's Tony Kanaan, but I think Tony Kanaan's away back. Schumacher was showing in 4th place. Philippe Massa. Look at where he is. He was in 5th place, so Schumacher's still up there in the point situation. Remember, there's a second race of this to go later this afternoon. Don't miss that on Eurosport2. Berti, who was off earlier, he's coming up the field as well, up into 12th place. Ricardo Zonta into 9th. Max Wilson, the Brazilian, born in Hamburg, is up into 10th place. But right at the front there, do we see a change again? Oh, we got Rubens Barrichello now into the lead. So Barrichello has the lead. De Grassi in second place. And it's Barrichello with only a few seconds to go. I should say a minute or 2 and a few seconds to go. But it's Barrichello with the lead, and how this crowd would love to see a Brazilian victory. Oh, De Grassi's having a little look, and Barrichello says, no, you don't. Slams the door firmly shut on him. So, still, Rubens Barrichello opened it up a little bit. There's somebody on the sidelines over there, but that won't bother them too much. Just coming up to 3 minutes remaining. And a somewhat altered Rubens Barrichello kart. They're all similar, these cars. Oh, they weren't when they started. They're not now, but they were when they started with the 125 Perilla engine. Oh, and that looks to me, if... What can you say about that? Well, oh dear. Well, can we get it turned around? Can we get it? I don't think there's a continuance in that one, is it? But there's Barrichello. He's continuing. And De Grassi trying to find his way through, and well, one's beginning to think now that for Michael Schumacher, little if no chance at all of being the eventual winner and retaining that title. But we've still got Barrichello and De Grassi having their battle here, and they really are amongst the backmarkers, so it could be backmarkers that really decide this one. And there's huge differentials of speed between, dare I say it, some of the much older drivers and some of the drivers not in any way familiar with this. But there is Schumacher. Is that Schumacher going round? Yes, I think it is. But I'm just looking at Barrichello, who's saying, look, we need to try and find our way through these people. But well, you know, you can easily be taken off by a back marker as well. So last couple of laps now, 1 minute 53 and counting there, and they've got another back marker in front of them, and it's still Barrichello, but the back marker holds them up there. And on that occasion, well, the back marker went in the way, then sideways the other way. Barrichello holds his lead. De Grassi goes through in second place, but I don't know where the back marker was. Maybe going to the supermarket. Oh, and there's two cars piling into the back there, and one driver deftly leaping over the barrier. He's perfectly all right, and the back marker's waving right, and then probably will turn left. No, he won't. It's still, and Schumacher still maintaining that fourth place, so he still is in with a chance. Diego Camillo, the fastest man in the warm-up, who's not done very much karting since 1999, is in third place. Felipe Massa, whose tournament it is, he put it all together for the last 3 years. He's up there to the top six now. And the top eight, though, start the back eight in the second final later this afternoon. But it's looking like Rubens Barrichello, so it could be a home victory for Brazil. He's got 53 seconds to hold on to it. I'm sure there'll be some conversation about, oh, what about those back markers? There usually is in any form of racing, but oh, Barrichello over the rumble strips on that occasion. Well, he uses them and uses them well. So do does De Grassi, and look at that, the Brazilian crowd delighted, absolutely delighted. Rubens Barrichello over the line, taking the Birrell Kart. They're all Birrell karts, but never mind, let's give Birrell a happy mention there. And the 125 water cooled, finishing ahead of De Grassi. I think Schumacher may have had the fourth place. The number 6 there is Tony Kanaan, who everyone's shaking everybody else's hand, really. So, but no doubt about that one. Rubens Barrichello, absolutely delighted. Hey, but you can't be really more pleased than that. Hey, 36 years of age, climbs back into karting. He was fastest in the free practices earlier, and although when it counted, was good enough to keep off the young guns as well. One of the young guns maybe fancying his seat now alongside Jenson Button inside the Honda camp. Well, maybe it takes a little bit more than that to move one Rubens Barrichello. Don't forget, there is a second and all-important final to come, because it's an allocation of the points. And although Rubens Barrichello will collect a big 25, and Michael Schumacher, well, nothing like that, because for, I think, fourth place, and we'll need some confirmation of that later, that will give him 13 points, so he'll be 12 points off his old Ferrari teammate. Schumacher, yes, confirmed there. And maybe somehow or other he kept his kart going round, altered by an off-course excursion rather than by intention. Felipe Massa finishing 5th there. Watch out for Diego Camillo in 3rd, but remember, they reversed the grid. The first 8 will start right at the back. So there you go. Number 1 finisher will start in 8th place. I think it's the reverse of that. That is the actual, it's not right at the back of the grid, but it's a reverse of that when they go. So where will Michael Schumacher start? He'll start in 5th position on the grid. So we'll have plenty to talk about and to watch, and it's live, of course, from Florianopolis, and just outside Sao Paulo. So there he is, Rubens Barrichello. No doubt absolutely delighted that he's won that one, but will he win it overall? We'll find out later this afternoon. Well, I'm trying to actually understand what Rubens is saying, but you don't need to understand that much, because he's actually saying I'm delighted with that. It went just the way I wanted it to go. It was a full and fierce battle, and in the end I got the points. Michael Schumacher's got a lot to do, so has De Grassi, so has a whole bunch of them. But believe me, when they reverse that grid, and 8th comes first to start with, and first goes to 8th, and then there's all the others in there as well. Look at the way they pile in. Should be very interesting. Don't forget to join me, Tony Delahunty, again when we get into the second part, just a little bit later this afternoon on Eurosport 2. Don't miss it.